Hey everybody, Theo MacArthur here. Here's a quick tip for you. If you are going to be drop shipping from Aliexpress, you might be wondering, how do you deal with the returns? Now, the returns when you're drop shipping from Aliexpress are likely to be a little bit higher, so you're likely to have more returns than you would normally. Now, you cannot expect the customer to return an item to China. That is definitely out. That's a no-no. And it's not normally worth your while to return the item to China either. It can be if the item is a higher priced item, but most of the time when we're drop shipping from AliExpress, we're only paying a few dollars, maybe $3, $4, $5, up to $10, $15, $20 at most for a product when we purchase it and we have it sent out to the customer. As well as that, you can't really return an item to AliExpress unless that item is defective. So most of the time, it really isn't worthwhile even considering sending that item back. So there are two things we can do. We've got two options. The first option is to have the customer return the item to you, and then you issue the refund to the customer once you've received the item. Once you've got it, you can decide what you want to do with it. If there's nothing wrong with it, you can resell it. If it's broken, defective, whatever, you can bin it, or maybe you just want to keep it. But that's up to you. Now, option two is to just refund the customer, but don't bother to ask the customer to return the item. Sometimes this is the best option. This can be the option that makes more sense financially. If you are not residing in the same country that you are drop shipping in, so for example, if you're drop shipping from AliExpress to the United States, but you reside somewhere else entirely, Australia, Asia, Europe, wherever, in order to receive returns back from customers, you're going to need to set something up. You're going to need to use a third-party service to receive those returns and then forward them to you. Now think about how much that would cost and think about whether or not that will be worth it when you consider you're usually only paying a few dollars for items from AliExpress. So normally it just isn't worth doing that. I hope that makes sense, because using a third-party service to receive those returns from customers and then forward to you, that's going to be pretty expensive. And just like you can't expect customers to send items to China, you cannot expect customers to return items to an address overseas. All right, so these are your two options. Now, whichever option it is that you're going to go for, option one or option two, when it comes to returns, when you're drop shipping from AliExpress, you should write in 15% losses for these returns, because most of the time, even if you are having them returned to you, most of the time you won't be able to do anything with them. So you need to write this in 15 to 20%, and to start off with, just to be conservative, I would go for writing in 20% losses for returned items. And if you find that as you go on that's too high, you can reduce it down to 15%. And it still allows you to make a good profit, because there are great profits to be made when we drop ship from AliExpress. Okay, so if you've been wondering how you do deal with returns when you're drop shipping from China, this is how you do it. Hope that's been helpful.